Xanax. How am I going to explain everything about Xanax? I'm going to talk about clinically what it does, and then I'll get into why it does what it does, why it's so good, and why it's so dangerous. Xanax, I have a love-hate relationship with because in terms of anxiety, this drug, in terms of anxiety and panic, probably works better than anything on the market. Give someone who's having a panic attack, have them take a Xanax, within 30 to 40 minutes, they're calmed down. Someone with severe anxiety, you give them anxiety, it's like a magic pill. The anxiety goes away, the panic goes away. That's why there's such an attraction to it on the black market for abuse and diversion, because Xanax takes away your anxiety, your muscle tension, you sleep, you're calm, the anxiety goes away. One patient said it's like God coming down and putting a warm blanket around you and massaging your temples and telling you everything will be okay. On the street, it's called barred out when you take Xanax bars. They're actually 2 milligram bar-shaped pills that you take, and they call it getting barred out or Xannies, and they buy them. That's the good of Xanax. What's the bad? Well, the bad is when you take it, you could get dizzy and fall. You lose motor coordination. You lose memory. You don't remember how many pills you took. You don't remember anything before you took that pill. So your memory's gone. So everything that happened before is gone. You have a blackout. Also, you have no insight. Your cognitive ability to decide that you're very impaired is gone. So you have no insight that you're walking around slurring your speech, tripping over yourself, discoordinated, not remembering things, socially disinhibited. It causes a disinhibition, so you act inappropriately, overly, your inhibitions are blocked. So you may become overly impulsive, sexual, blurt out answers, say stupid things. They're horrible to be around. I've been around people on Xanax. It's disgusting. They just act, the minute they walk in the room, you're like, you're annoying. They break all social boundaries, social protocols, all forms of socially appropriate behavior. They have a sense of numbness to them. They can get dry mouth, constipation, slurred speech, blurred vision, memory, cognitive impairments. Okay, that's the short term. The long term, they can have permanent memory issues. They're prone to dementia in older people who use them very long periods of time. And it may make the anxiety worse. So when you stop it, you don't get a recovery. If you take the process of dependency and tolerance begins with your first dose. It's a spectrum. The minute you take your first, people say, how long does it take to get dependent? Well, your first dose, it's a spectrum. The more you take, the more dependent you become. And, someone takes it around the clock within 24 hours, could have a seizure upon withdrawal. For sure, within 1 week or 2 weeks, if you're taking it every day, you will have developed a dependence. Let's be real. And once you've developed dependence on this drug, alprazolam, the risk of seizure with this drug is extremely high when you withdraw it. So when you're withdrawing from Xanax, alprazolam, seizures are very common. So it's customary to switch them to a longer acting drug because this only lasts 5 to 7 hours. So within 5 half-lives, 25 hours, within a day, maybe a day and a half, it's out of your system and you could seize. Okay, that's the basic down and dirty what happens clinically. So don't check out. Now I'm explaining what is going on. When you take a Xanax, an alprazolam, what does your body do? Well, you take it and right away your anxiety goes down. And you know what your body says? At a molecular level, it says, whatever you do I will do everything I can to restore it back to my natural state. It's called homeostasis. So when you take that Xanax, and what it does, there's these ion channels, and it causes chloride to flood into the neuron, hyperpolarize it because it's a negative charge, and it prevents neural transmission down that neuron, or dramatically slows it down. Yeah, that's great for excitatory areas of the brain. But what does your brain do? It says, okay, you're going to use an artificial drug in my system to cause gamma aminobutyric acid, to work better at its receptor site and to decrease neural transmission. And these GABA receptors are located in the areas of the brain associated with memory and emotion: the amygdala, the thalamus, the hippocampus, and the cingulate gyrus. So you know what your body says? Fine. You're going to make it so that you're making GABA work so great. I'm going to produce less GABA. I'm going to make the GABA receptors less sensitive, but also I'm going to increase the glutamate, the excitatory neurotransmitters, just to really screw you up. Because now I realize I'm too slowed down. I'm going to speed up by increasing the glutamic acid in the system, and also I'm going to make those receptors for those excitatory neurotransmitters even more more susceptible, more excitable to glutamate, so that NMDA, N-methyl D-aspartate, AMPA, kainate, all those glutamate receptors become much more sensitive to glutamate, and the body produces more excitatory neurotransmitter, glutamic acid. It makes the GABA receptor less sensitive and produces less GABA. Guess what that'll do? Decrease of GABA, increase glutamate. That is a picture for excitation. That is why you have a seizure. That's why you develop tolerance to this drug. And that's why there's this, on a graph, you take it, your anxiety goes down. Well, when it wears off, your anxiety goes up a little bit higher. So now you take it again. It goes down, but it doesn't go down as much. And when you come back, it goes up even a little higher. Then you take more, it goes down, but not as much. But the anxiety, when it wears off, it comes back higher after the pill. And then you say, well, I'll double the dose. Well, it'll come down at first farther, but then it goes up further. So that's why there's interdose anxiety. Tolerance, decreasing effect of the drug so the anxiety doesn't go down as far. Rebound anxiety gets more as it wears off. So you can see how it's trending up. So actually taking these benzodiazepines or alprazolam, the anxiety level goes up. And now you've set a molecular and a cellular level. You've made a system where excitatory neurotransmitters are up, inhibitory are down, GABA. Guess what? GABA controls seizures, sleep, muscle relaxation, and anxiety. So now, when you pull the GABA away, or the artificial GABA attenuation that you did, the medical term is allosteric modulation of the GABA A receptor, when you pull that away, now the body, it's like, whoa, I got too much excitatory neurotransmitters, and I got too little GABA. My GABA receptors don't work well. My excitatory ones work too well. You seize. Your muscles tense up. You can't sleep. You're restless. And guess what? All these GABA A receptors were Xanax effects involve memory, the flight or flight. The hippocampus is the memory. The amygdala is the flight or flight response. The cingulate gyrus is pain. And the thalamus is somatosensory and emotions. Well, all that gets screwed up. You've screwed all the balance of that up. Long-term use. How quickly do you recover from this? Well, the seizure effects usually wear off 10 to 14 days. I would say about 4 months before you feel kind of normal again. For most people, long-term users may have permanent effects on memory anxiety, sleep, muscle regulation and relaxation, and they may have dementia. They cannot form new memories. This is my love-hate relationship. This is a short-term drug. There's something I tell my patients. Skills over pills. I do a lot of therapy. So I sit and use cognitive behavioral therapy, relaxation techniques. I do exercise, meditation, yoga, cognitive behavioral therapy, dietary, avoiding certain, this is another lecture, I'm not getting into it, but you see where I'm going, this is skills over pills, because we saw that the use of artificial GABA attenuating drugs like the benzodiazepines, like Xanax, Ativan, Klonopin, Librium, Restoril, they actually over time may cause increased anxiety, increase in sleep problems. This is the love-hate relationship with this drug. I hope this helped. I tried to give you a general outline by describing the clinical and then getting into some of the pharmacology of what's going on and the dangers and the benefits of Xanax. I use this drug. It's a short-term solution. It is not a long-term solution due to its rapid onset, its rapid development of tolerance, and it rapidly leaves your body. Too much rapid for the body, doesn't like it. And you get interdose anxiety. You turn someone into an addict. They're constantly chasing their next dose. You put them on this roller coaster of decreased anxiety, increased anxiety, down, up, down, up. They don't know if they're coming or going. They become increasingly distressed. Anyway, the bulk of what I do is on my blog at dragresti.com. I appreciate likes and subscribe. I'm hitting a monumental point in my YouTube channel. I'm about to get monetized, probably today. So I appreciate watching the whole video. Subscribe, like, I appreciate the comments. If anyone wants me to do a video, write in the comment section what video you want, I'll do it. I'm running out of ideas, basically.